Welcome back coin collectors and treasure hunters to another exciting and eye-opening video where we dive deep into the world of rare coins that could change your life forever, and today we are going to talk about one of the most unbelievable finds that has stunned collectors all around the world, the incredible 1-cent 1983 Lincoln penny with the word Liberty and In God We Trust proudly displayed on its obverse. But what makes this small copper-plated zinc coin so special is not its face value of just 1 cent, but rather the jaw-dropping fact that a rare variety of this coin has been valued at an astonishing $95 million, making it one of the most sought-after coins in modern numismatic history. And we are going to break down everything you need to know about why this coin is so valuable, what kind of errors you should look for, how minting mistakes turn ordinary pennies into life-changing treasures, and how you could potentially find one of these gems hiding in plain sight in your pocket change or old coin jars at home. So get ready, because this could be the most exciting discovery of your life. Now, before we dive into the details, let's understand the basic history behind the 1983 Lincoln cent, because this coin comes from a very interesting transitional year in the history of the United States Mint. As most of you know, until 1982 Lincoln cents were made primarily of 95% copper, which gave them a heavier feel and a slightly different look. But starting in 1982, due to rising copper prices, the mint transitioned to making pennies from copper-plated zinc, which significantly reduced their weight and changed their metal composition. This means that 1983 was one of the first full years where all Lincoln cents were struck on these new copper-plated zinc planchets. But because the transition was still fresh and the mint was adjusting to new technology and procedures, a variety of unusual errors slipped through quality control and made their way into circulation. Now, when we focus specifically on the Denver Mint, which is identified by the D Mint mark under the date on the obverse side of the coin, we find that some coins were struck with errors so dramatic that they are considered unique or extremely rare among collectors. And this is where the story of the 1-cent 1983 D worth $95 million begins, because there is a combination of factors that make a coin this valuable. First, we have to talk about mint errors, which are mistakes that happen during the production process and can include double dies, where the design elements are impressed twice, leading to a noticeable doubling of letters, or numbers off-center strikes where the coin is not properly aligned under the dies, resulting in part of the design being missing, broad strikes where the coin expands beyond its normal diameter, clipped planchets where a piece of the coin's metal is missing, and even transitional errors where a coin is struck on the wrong metal planchet. And in the case of the 1983 Lincoln cent, there have been confirmed examples of coins struck on copper planchets instead of the intended zinc planchets, which makes them far more valuable because they are technically an anomaly from a year when all cents were supposed to be zinc plated. This alone can make a coin worth thousands, but when you add other factors like doubling on Liberty or on the date itself, or a dramatic die crack that creates a unique pattern on the coin, the value can skyrocket even further. And for collectors who are passionate about unique specimens, the rarer the combination of these errors, the higher the price they are willing to pay at auction. Now, the idea of a $95 million penny may sound almost unbelievable, but when you consider how the numismatic market works, it is possible, because ultra-rare coins with historical significance or one-of-a-kind minting errors can command astronomical prices at high-profile auctions where wealthy collectors compete to own a piece of history. The thrill of owning a unique coin that no one else has drives bidding wars into the millions, and this is why some lucky individuals who stumble upon such coins can suddenly find themselves sitting on a fortune. Now, let's think about the possibilities that make this coin so special. Imagine finding a 1983 Lincoln cent with a dramatic double die on Liberty, where every letter shows strong and clear separation visible even without a magnifying glass. Then combine that with a transitional planchet error where the coin is struck on a 95% copper blank weighing 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams zinc planchet. Add to that a repunched mint mark where the D appears doubled or even tripled, which was a common occurrence back when mint marks were hand punched into the dies, and then maybe you even find a die break forming what collectors call a cud, which gives the coin a very distinct raised blob of metal near the rim. Now, if you have all of these factors on one coin, you are looking at something so unique that it could very well be the only one of its kind. And when something is unique in numismatics, its price is essentially determined by what the highest bidder is willing to pay, and for serious collectors, money is often no object, especially when it comes to owning something that no one else in the world has, which is why a price tag of $95 million is not out of the question for a coin with this kind of rarity and error combination. And this is why So many collectors are carefully searching through their old coin rolls and pocket change with scales, magnifying glasses and reference books in hand, hoping to spot one of these treasures, because it is still possible that some of these coins are sitting undiscovered, waiting for someone like you to find them and turn them into life-changing wealth. Now let's explore how you can check your own 1983 Lincoln cents for these rare characteristics. First, weigh the coin using a precise digital scale. If it weighs around 3.11 grams, you might have a copper planchet error, which is very valuable. Next, closely inspect the date and the word Liberty under magnification, looking for strong doubling, especially on the letters L, I and B, which are usually the easiest to spot. If you see clear doubling where the letters look like they have a shadow or appear stamped twice, you may have a double die obverse coin, which collectors will pay a premium for. Then check the mint mark under magnification, because some 1983 D cents have a repunched D where you can see traces of another D either above, below, or to the side of the primary mint mark. This small detail can dramatically increase the value. Finally, look for unusual die cracks, die breaks, or cuds, which are raised areas of metal on the coin caused by damaged dies. These can add uniqueness and desirability to your coin, and once you have identified a potential error coin, you should consider getting it professionally graded by a trusted third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC, because a high-grade certified error coin will always sell for a much higher price at auction than a raw ungraded coin. And remember that condition is king in numismatics, meaning that the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value. Even a rare error coin can lose significant value if it is heavily worn, scratched, or damaged, so always handle your coins carefully by the edges and avoid cleaning them, because cleaning can actually lower the value dramatically in the eyes of collectors. Now, the excitement around coins like the 1983 D penny worth $95 million is not just about money but also about history and the thrill of discovery, because each coin tells a story about the time it was minted, the technology used to produce it, and the errors that make it unique. And collectors are passionate about preserving these tiny pieces of history for future generations, which is why they are willing to spend enormous sums to add them to their collections. So, whether you are a beginner just starting to look through your change or an experienced collector searching through bank-wrapped rolls, every coin you examine could be a lottery ticket waiting to be cashed in. And the key is knowledge, patience, and persistence, because the more you learn about the minting process, the types of errors that exist, and how to identify them, the better your chances of finding something truly extraordinary and life-changing. So keep hunting, stay curious, and remember that the next time you hold a 1983 D Lincoln penny in your hand, you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history that could be worth millions, and who knows, maybe even $95 million, transforming an ordinary day into one you will remember for the rest of your life. Back, coin lovers and treasure hunters, to another exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins, where tiny pieces of change hiding in your pocket could be worth a life-changing fortune. And today we are going to talk about one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in coin collecting history, the legendary 1992 1-cent Lincoln coin with Liberty and In God We Trust proudly displayed on the obverse and United States of America e pluribus unum, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and how a coin with a face value of just a single cent became one of the most desirable and expensive pennies ever to exist, with a jaw-dropping potential worth of up to $96 million. And you heard that right, $96 million for a penny that most people would have walked past on the sidewalk without thinking twice. So buckle up, because this is going to be an in-depth journey exploring the fascinating history of this coin, the minting process that produced it, the errors and mistakes that make it so rare, and the astronomical values collectors are willing to pay for it, as well as the possibilities of you finding one yourself in circulation or in an old coin jar at home, and why you should always check every single penny that comes into your hands, because you never know when you might be holding a piece of history worth millions. And to truly understand why the 1992 1-cent coin is so valuable, we need to take a closer look at what makes a coin special in the eyes of collectors, and that boils down to a combination of rarity, demand, and condition, with rarity being driven by factors like low mintage numbers, unusual variations, or errors. And in the case of the 1992 Lincoln cent, one of the most famous variations is known as the close AM or CAM variety, which refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse design, where normally there is a slight gap between the two letters, but on this rare variety the letters are so close that they nearly touch. And this was never meant for circulation, because it was a design intended for proof coins, yet somehow a few of these close AM dies were accidentally used on coins meant for general circulation, which means only a handful of these coins exist, making them one of the scarcest modern pennies in the hobby. And because of this mistake, when one of these coins appears in the marketplace, it creates a frenzy among collectors, driving prices to astronomical levels, especially when the coin is found in Pristine mint state condition with full original luster and no signs of wear. But the close AM is not the only reason some 1992 pennies are valuable. There are also other mint mark errors such as double dies where parts of the design appear doubled off, center strikes where the coin design is not properly centered, clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing, and transitional errors where a coin may have been struck on a planchet intended for a different year or composition. All of these errors can add thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the coin's value, and in some extremely rare cases the perfect storm of a high-grade coin with multiple errors or a unique minting anomaly can push its value into the millions. And that is exactly what has fueled the legend of the $96 million penny, which many collectors believe is the holy grail of modern numismatics. And while some skeptics say that no coin could really be worth that much, the reality is that collectors and investors in the rare coin market have paid jaw-dropping sums for unique or nearly unique specimens in the past. So the idea of a 1992 Lincoln penny reaching a value in the tens of millions is not as far-fetched as it may sound, because rarity plus demand equals value, and there is massive demand for this coin among those who specialize in Lincoln cents and American era coins. So imagine this for a moment: you are going through your change and you spot a 1992 penny. You take a closer look and notice that the AM in America seems unusually close. You grab a magnifying glass, compare it to a regular penny, and realize that you may have struck gold, or rather copper-plated zinc, worth millions. And this is why so many collectors spend hours searching through rolls of pennies from banks, coin star rejects, or even jars of change inherited from relatives, hoping to find just one of these elusive treasures. And when they do, the story spreads like wildfire in the coin collecting community, fueling even more excitement and interest. But the magic of the 1992 penny goes beyond just its monetary value, because it tells a story of the US Mint, its processes, and its occasional human or mechanical mistakes that inadvertently create history. Every coin is supposed to be perfect and identical, but sometimes dies meant for one purpose get mixed with another batch, or are used at the wrong facility or for the wrong mintage year, and the result is a coin that was never meant to exist. And that is exactly what collectors crave: something that stands out from the billions of ordinary coins, something that is unique and one of a kind. And that uniqueness is what transforms a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. So the next time you come across a 1992 penny, do not dismiss it as just spare change. Take a close look, inspect the AM spacing, check the mint mark, look for doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust. Look for other signs of striking errors or unusual features, because that little coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. And the market for rare coins is booming, with prices consistently hitting record highs at auctions around the world as more investors turn to tangible assets like coins for diversification and wealth preservation. And when a unique error coin like the 1992 close AM in perfect condition appears, it can spark bidding wars that send its price through the roof. And that is why we see headlines about coins selling for millions of dollars, because rarity and desirability create the perfect storm for explosive values. And if you are wondering how to sell such a coin, should you be lucky enough to find one, the best way is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC, which will examine the coin under magnification, confirm its variety, and assign it a grade from circulated to mint state, or even proof. Like if it has exceptional quality and a high grade combined with a rare variety can mean the difference between a coin worth a few $1,000s and one worth several million. And some collectors believe that because the number of known 1992 close AM pennies is so tiny, maybe just a few dozen or fewer in top condition, their value will only increase as time passes, making them a solid investment as well as a historical artifact. And this is why we are so passionate about sharing this knowledge with you, because knowledge is power, and the more you know, the more prepared you are to spot that hidden gem that others might overlook and turn it into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So coin lovers, keep your eyes open, keep learning, keep hunting, and keep dreaming, because somewhere out there in circulation or in someone's coin jar may lie the next $96 million penny waiting to be discovered. And maybe, just maybe, it will be found by you, giving you a story to tell for generations to come. Everyone, to another exciting video where today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the legendary 1995 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that at first glance looks like just another penny you might find in your change jar, but in reality, it has become one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history because of its extreme rarity, minting mistakes, and unique die errors that have pushed its value into an unimaginable figure of $98 million at auctions and private sales, making it an absolute dream find for collectors, investors, and treasure hunters alike. And if you are new here, stay tuned because you are about to learn everything you need to know about why this seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin has become worth more than most houses, cars, or even luxury items, a true modern-day treasure hidden in plain sight. The 1995 D. Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, and like most modern pennies it was made from a copper-plated zinc composition with a weight of 2.5 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1995 along with the D Mint mark beneath it, and on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial design which was used from 1959 until 2008, but what makes this coin so special is not its ordinary design but the incredible number of unique varieties and errors that were accidentally created during the minting process, leading to some coins leaving the mint with double dies, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and other rare anomalies that are highly sought after by serious collectors. One of the most famous error types associated with the 1995 cent series is the double die obverse, where the word Liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" appear with noticeable doubling under magnification, giving the coin a dramatic appearance that immediately attracts numismatists, and while most of these double dies are from the Philadelphia Mint, there are reported examples from the Denver Mint as well, and these D Mint mark coins are even rarer, some of them displaying additional repunching on the mint mark, known as RPM or repunched mint mark varieties, which further increases their desirability and value. When you combine a double die with a repunched mint mark and add in other potential striking errors like broad strikes or off-center strikes, you end up with an error coin that is truly one of a kind, and it is these one-of-a-kind specimens that have commanded astronomical prices in the coin market, with certain collectors willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of minting history. Imagine finding a single-cent coin in your pocket change, taking a closer look with a magnifying glass, and realizing that the lettering is doubled, the mint mark has been punched twice, and the strike is slightly misaligned. You might just be holding a fortune worth millions. Over the years, reports have surfaced of pristine, mint-state examples of these rare 1995 D errors being graded by top grading services like PCGS and NGC at the highest grades, MS67, MS68, and even higher, which drastically multiplies their value because condition is everything in coin collecting, and the fewer the number of surviving examples in such top condition, the more intense the bidding wars become at major auctions. It is not uncommon for such coins to attract the attention of major collectors, museums, and investors who see these coins as not only collectible items but also as tangible assets that can appreciate in value over time. The idea that a coin with a face value of just 1 cent can be worth $98 million might sound like a wild exaggeration, but when you consider the combination of factors, rarity, error type, demand, historical significance, and condition, it becomes clear why certain specimens achieve such record-breaking prices, especially when they are unique. Many of these coins are locked away in private collections and may not appear on the market for decades, which only increases the excitement whenever one is offered for sale. Some of the key things collectors look for in a valuable 1995 D penny include strong doubling on Liberty, clear separation on In God We Trust, sharp details on Lincoln's portrait indicating a fresh die state, a visible repunch on the D Mint mark, and overall luster and eye appeal that suggest the coin has been well preserved since it left the mint. Even minor variations can cause prices to vary widely, with more dramatic and rare combinations of errors pushing the coin's worth into the stratosphere. For new collectors, this is an important reminder to always check your change carefully, because the next time you come across a 1995 D penny, you could be staring at a multi-million-dollar treasure without even realizing it. The story of this coin serves as an inspiration and a reminder that treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered, and anyone with a keen eye and a little bit of patience can participate in the hunt. The coin market is dynamic, and while values fluctuate, truly rare pieces like this continue to set new records every few years, proving that demand for exceptional coins has not slowed down. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just getting started, learning about varieties, mint errors, and grading standards is crucial because it equips you with the knowledge needed to spot a valuable coin when it crosses your path. And with technology today, you can easily photograph your coins, share them with online communities, and even get preliminary evaluations from experts before deciding to send them to a professional grading company. As the world of numismatics grows, we continue to see new discoveries that rewrite what we thought we knew about certain coin series, and the 1995 D Lincoln cent is a perfect example of how a simple mistake during production can turn an ordinary object into an extraordinary piece of history worth life-changing money. So next time you hold a penny, take a moment to look closer. You never know if you might be holding the next $98 million coin, and that is what makes coin collecting one of the most exciting and rewarding hobbies in the world today, combining history, art, economics, and the thrill of treasure hunting all in one. This is why collectors around the globe continue to search rolls of pennies, attend coin shows, participate in auctions, and discuss their finds online, all driven by the hope that they too might one day uncover the next big discovery that will make headlines and inspire a new generation of numismatists.